What if you could live forever? The only catch is that you can actually die, and every time you're brought back to life, you remember the last time you died. And so death is just this constant thing that you might have to deal with. Actually, the other catch is that death is actually a part of your job. That's kind of like the whole reason that you are able to keep coming back. Doesn't sound so cool. That is the premise of the novel Mickey7 by Edward Ashton. Hey, welcome to Crizzy Books. I'm Crizzy, or Criz, but only my homeboys call me Criz. Mickey7 follows our main character, Mickey. Mickey is an expendable on a ship that is headed towards a planet. This planet is intended to be terraformed, but they have to send some kind of recon crew out there to get things set up a base, make sure that the planet isn't super hostile towards them. Are there any type of natives that could be a problem and prevent us from doing this before we start sending more colonists out here? And what is an expendable? Well, it's kind of like a human guinea pig. An expendable is somebody who they can clone over and over again, kind of like a 3D printer for human beings. They upload Mickey's consciousness every so often so that he has memories of things that have happened to him, so that in the event that he eventually dies, which he will over and over again, they can bring him back and he can remember. But his job is to go and do the things that nobody else wants to, like go outside into the vacuum of space and get radiation burns and radiation poisoning until he dies, or to be the first one to go out onto the surface of this new planet and catch all kinds of weird diseases and die slowly so that they can test his blood and get vaccines made for the rest of the crew, fall into deep crevices and break all of his bones and eventually starve to death. That's what his job is. Doesn't sound so great, but Mickey signs up for this because he needs to get off of his home planet. He's in trouble with some money guys. He's got to leave. One of the most hostile things that's occurring on this new planet that they're trying to colonize and terraform is a local species of highly intelligent aliens or creatures. The description of them seemed like giant centipedes made out of rock, I guess. That's kind of how I pictured them. The humans who are there, the colonizers, they all view them as some type of threat. Until Mickey is rescued by one, essentially. At least it doesn't try to kill him. He's fallen into a crevice. He's waiting to die. One comes and picks him up, and he thinks, great, they're going to eat me. That's not what happens at all. He takes him through a series of tunnels underground and drops him off close to the base. And this perplexes Mickey. He's like, this whole time, we've been treating these things like they are our enemy and like they're hostile and we need to kill them, eradicate them. I don't know that we need to. I think they're highly intelligent and they don't want to fight with us. While Mickey was down in that crevice, it was assumed that he was dead. He was left there to die, actually, by his buddy. So they print a new Mickey. But because he got dropped off by this alien species, there's now two of him walking around, which is not supposed to happen. Highly illegal, huge problem, cannot happen. They discover each other, and the rest of the book is basically them trying to keep this a secret from everybody, while this other kind of alien thing is going on. I think that this book is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the tone. I think that the characters were really well developed, and I just liked the story. There's a couple things that I wasn't too hot about, but I think overall, I thought this was pretty good. One thing that I did really like about this, like I said, the tone of this is very fun. I would put this in the same category as something like an Andy Weir novel, The Martian. Mickey is our narrator. It's from his perspective. He's so nonchalant. He's very lighthearted. He makes very sarcastic jokes, probably because of the fact that he is constantly dying and living in a world where eventually he's going to die. And he hates that, actually. He can't stand the fact that he knows he's going to die, probably in an agonizing way, and it's going to suck. It doesn't matter that he gets to come back again. He still has to go through all of that horrible shit to get there. And it's just kind of funny because while that is his job and that's what pretty much everybody expects out of him, to just like willingly go and do all of these horrible things that nobody else would do, they don't understand that he's still just a guy. Like, it doesn't matter how many times he can get reprinted. Like, he might be immortal, but it still sucks every single time. And so he's constantly trying to do things to avoid dying at all costs. So really, this is a novel about survival, mostly. not just survival of Mickey, but survival of these colonists, this space station, and its crew. Things are kind of falling apart. We think we're being attacked by this alien species. Nobody really seems to know what's going on. Everybody's scared. And Mickey seems like kind of a good scapegoat for a lot of them, which is also kind of funny. And once Mickey 8 comes along, then it creates this new level of like anxiety and paranoia of them both trying to keep this under wraps to make sure that nobody can really figure this out. And it is this kind of interesting thing to think about, of just like, if you were cloned and your clone came along, that would be insanely weird, because he's thinking of this other him as somebody totally different. He has a lot of negative opinions towards him, just kind of can't stand him. He has a girlfriend, and they're both like sharing her, and that's kind of how they get caught. Actually, they get caught all having a threesome together, which is pretty funny. But it is just such a weird concept to think of, like, his clone is him. They're the same guy, but they're viewing each other as just like, I hate you, like I don't want you around here. I can't believe you're having sex with my girlfriend, like all this stuff, and it's really funny. The world building in this, I thought, was decent. It takes place in a future universe, really, of the human race, where Earth has colonized, humans have colonized a lot of different planets. One of the stories that I liked the most about this world and this universe, they talk a lot about copying people and cloning people, and why this is like become such a taboo thing. Everybody does treat Mickey like he is a monster half the time. Like, don't talk to him, like he's gross. We don't talk to him. He's not a human being, which is pretty screwed up. But there also is this big stigma around cloned individuals, and they tell this story about why that is and why it basically got banned throughout the universe. There was a guy named Manakova who essentially copied himself so many times that he created an army of him and took over an entire planet, and they had to blow his planet up and kill all of him. And I loved that story. I love that idea. It is so interesting and so fun and terrifying, and that's the reason why we don't do this anymore, except for things like this, missions to advance our species and to explore new worlds. That's the only way that we can do this. But there was a lot of little details and side stories like that. They give you bits of information that just made the world feel a little more fleshed out. It doesn't go too crazy, but I think I kind of liked that. The plot about them, Mickey really trying to convince everyone that he thinks that the aliens on the planet, that they're actually far more intelligent than anyone thinks. They are not out to kill them. And him trying to figure out how to communicate with them. I really liked all of this, especially when they start communicating with him through his contacts and things like that. That was pretty great. I will say, though, it did feel a little underdeveloped. Like, I didn't fully understand exactly what this species is and how high their intelligence is. They seem very hive mind, insect-like. But we don't really get much more than that, other than they are very intelligent and can figure things out like our technology and find ways to communicate with us. But overall, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was good. It's lighthearted, it's funny, it has an interesting story, and best of all, it moves really quickly. Just a fun, if not maybe a little shallow, science fiction novel. I would recommend reading it. But what do you think? Have you read Mickey7? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye.